Think you only need a LinkedIn account if you're looking for a job? Think again. Stick around to learn why everyone needs a LinkedIn account and why the number of connections you have matters. Welcome to Accounts Payable Soundbites, the program where we explain simple and complex accounts payable issues in short, concise soundbites. Okay, so I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you know that when you're looking for a job, you should have a LinkedIn profile so that prospective employers can check you out. And hopefully, if they're looking for a new employee, they can find you. It's pretty obvious. But what about if you're not looking for a job? If you're really happy in the job that you have now and you think this is a wonderful company and you're going to stay there forever? Well, that's great, and I hope things work out for you. But we all know that we don't know what the future brings. And in the last few years, we've seen a number of companies that I thought would be around forever go under, and people then were forced to go out and find a new job. And in those cases, it was helpful if the person involved already had a LinkedIn account. Okay, so even if that doesn't happen, I'm sure that many of you have been in a situation where you've been real happy in your job, and then the company brings in a real jerk who doesn't look like he or she's going anyplace. And so you may then come to the unfortunate conclusion that looking for a new job is in your best interest. So even though you thought you wouldn't be doing it, there you are, you're out again. Okay, and lastly, it's nice, even when you're happy and things are going well, to be contacted by a recruiter who has a job that you might be qualified for. That's always a nice thing. So, looking forward, hopefully I've convinced you that you need to have a LinkedIn profile, and this is something that you need to work on an ongoing basis. Now, did you know the more connections you have, the more likely you are to show up in a LinkedIn search? I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that. I thought you have a profile, you have some connections, that's good enough. But when I interviewed Brenda Bernstein in episode 92 of the AP Now podcast, I found out that the number of connections you have is really actually quite important. The more you have, the more likely you are to show up in a search. Not only that, I also learned as I started to investigate this that LinkedIn has a limit on the number of invitations that you can send out at one time. So this is one of those instances where slow and steady wins the race. You can't get onto LinkedIn and send out 1,000 invitations and hope to build up your connections that way. I recently received an invitation to link with a note from someone, and I want to read you that note. He wrote to me, "Hello, Mary. Heard your interview the other day with Brenda Bernstein regarding LinkedIn best practices." He said, "I get your emails regularly and never thought to connect with you on LinkedIn until I heard your interview with Brenda. So here's me incorporating a best practice by inviting you to connect." So thanks for the invitation, Raul, and thanks for the note that inspired this actual little video, if you will. I'm always happy to connect with anyone in the accounts payable, accounting, finance, treasury, tax, audit, P2P, or some related space. For additional insights on creating a killer LinkedIn profile, listen to episode 92, a link for which will appear to the left momentarily. And of course, if you like this episode, we always do appreciate those thumbs up and shares.